He thought it would be funny, a quick chuckle, a private joke only he and his partner would hear. Officer Grant Mercer had worked the annual Riverside City Marathon for a decade. Crowd control, road closures, easy overtime, and free coffee. Nothing ever happened here until today. At 6:12 a.m., the sky still wore its violet dawn when Malik Johnson arrived at the starting line, 32 years old. Local middle school history teacher. Runner since college, but never a full marathon until now. He'd promised himself, and the memory of his late father, that he'd finish this one, no matter how long it took. Mercer noticed him immediately. A tall black man jogging easy laps to loosen his legs, earbuds tucked beneath a knit cap. The officer smirked, nudging his partner. "Bet he fades by mile 5, he said, voice just loud enough for the runners nearest the barricade to hear. A few people glanced over. Most looked away. Malik heard it, didn't break stride. Just adjusted his breathing, eyes fixed on the horizon. By mile 3, the river fog hung low and silver, curling between lampposts. Shoes struck pavement in a steady drumbeat, thousands of runners threading the city streets. Volunteers cheered and rattled cowbells. Mercer's patrol car rolled alongside the early pack, windows down, radio low. Again the laugh, low, sharp. "Still going? Didn't think you'd last." Malik's chest tightened, but not from the distance. He'd trained these roads before dawn for months. He knew the quiet weight of a stare that questioned why he was there. Every sideways glance on an early morning jog. Every, "You sure you belong in this neighborhood?" disguised as small talk. He inhaled for 3 steps, exhaled for 2, finding rhythm in the noise. Run your race. Not his. Mile 8 brought a hard blue sky and a river of sunlight spilling over the rooftops. Spectators packed the sidewalks, children on shoulders, hand-painted signs waving like sails. Malik S. students were out there somewhere. He de-spotted a few familiar faces near the halfway mark, shrieking his name like he was a celebrity. The sound lifted him. Mercer lingered near the course, arms crossed, eyes narrowing each time Malik passed a checkpoint. When a colleague asked why he kept pace with that one runner, Mercer shrugged. "Just watching," he said. But the grin stayed. By mile 13, the city's heartbeat grew louder. Steel drum bands set up on corners. Street photographers captured the blur of motion. What Mercer never noticed were the cameras. Hundreds of them. Mounted on streetlights, perched on rooftops, slung over shoulders of documentary crews covering the marathon for national broadcast. Every laugh, every offhand comment traveled through live mics and satellite feeds. Malik reached the water station, sweat beading on his forehead, legs beginning to ache. He thought of his father, who had collapsed in the middle of a 10K years ago and never recovered. "This one's for you," Malik whispered and pushed on. Mile 19, the wall, quads screaming, vision tunneling. The sun now a hard coin above the skyline. He slowed but refused to stop. A cluster of middle schoolers suddenly burst into view, waving a banner painted in bold blue, "Run, Mr. J, his students." Their cheers sliced through the fatigue, a lifeline made of sound. Malik's chest loosened. He picked up the pace. Mercer waited at the final checkpoint, squad car angled toward the barricades, grin fixed. He'd parked so runners would pass within inches. When Malik approached, sweat-soaked, eyes fierce, Mercer leaned forward and muttered, just loud enough for the boom mic of a nearby camera. "Didn't think people like you finish things." The words hung in the autumn air. Several runners glanced over. One volunteer froze, hand mid-clap. Malik didn't flinch, didn't give him the satisfaction. He ran. The last mile stretched into eternity. Every muscle begged for mercy. But the city skyline beckoned, a shimmer through the heat. Crowds swelled at the barricades, the roar of thousands rolling like surf. Malik crossed the finish line to a wall of cheers, students chanting his name, teachers high-fiving strangers. His time wasn't record-breaking, but his heart pounded with something deeper than victory. Minutes later, the first clip surfaced online. Then another and another. A marathon live stream had caught the exchange in perfect clarity. Mercer's laugh, the words dripping casual contempt. Someone posted it to social media with the caption, "This is our city's finest." By dusk, the hashtag Dar Run Malik Run trended nationwide. Not for Malik's finishing time, but for the insult heard around the world. The Riverside Police Department's phone lines lit up before midnight. City officials promised an immediate investigation. Sponsors threatened to pull marathon funding unless action was taken. Mercer tried to explain it away. Just a joke, taken out of context. But the video was unambiguous. Cameras don't blink, and truth travels faster than any runner. Malik sat on the curb outside the stadium, metal cool against his chest, legs trembling from the race. Students crowded around, their phones buzzing with notifications. One showed him the trending clip. He watched in silence, the sounds of the city swirling around him, horns, cheers, the distant echo of drums. Finally, he smiled, tired and genuine. "This," he said quietly, "is why we keep running." Because prejudice doesn't always shout. Sometimes it chuckles behind a badge, certain no one will notice. But someone always does, and when the world is watching, even a whispered slight can ignite a movement. The next morning, local news anchors replayed the footage on a loop. National networks followed. Letters of support flooded Malik's inbox, from former students, fellow runners, complete strangers. One message read simply, "Your race isn't over. We're all running with you." Malik laced up again the very next day. No cameras this time. Just the steady rhythm of his own footsteps and a city slowly learning to listen.